And just like that, the shop front wall is finished. I meant to film it, but me and Dave worked kind of fast, and I was kind of limping, and I was kind of aggravated because my foot hurt, and it still hurts. So anyway, no video, but basically we put up the cement plank siding. Did a good job on measuring our lap so that we get a whole board coming out here, coming out on top of the window. I think that's important. I don't like it when the boards are notched on top of the window. It's just a thing with me. My old light fixture looks pretty good with the new paint. So this is done. Still got to put up my propeller post, but I will do that. Anyway, I got the trailer and the truck loaded down. This is the treehouse. This is the material for the structural bottom, and also some stuff that I don't need for a long time yet, but since I'm bringing the trailer, I got the trailer loaded up. So tomorrow we'll be in the country, and I don't know how much I'll be able to get done because I'm still limping, and these boards are really heavy. The worst thing is I'll just drag them off and drop them in the street until our street, not the public road, our private road, and finish up the next time I go. But I'm gonna go for 2 days and see if I can't get the frame done. This is where the treehouse is gonna go, between these two hardwoods. I don't know what they are. Not too far from our road, so I don't have to carry stuff too far. And I don't know if you can see through the bushes, but the cabin is over there, not so far that the kids couldn't run back if they got scared, if they were sleeping out or something. So what I'm gonna do right now is try to remove all these baby pine trees below the ground, so I won't have to worry about little stumps sticking up. And I got this tool, which I think will do the job, but I didn't bring my movie camera, so I'll have to turn this off for a while. All right, well, I murdered all these little baby pine trees, but I got it kind of clear between the trees. They're further apart than I thought. But anyway, I got 4 posts to set today. I got to decide where to put them. I don't like tree houses that like cantilever out. I'd rather have a post on the corner. Okay, I got something. These stakes are 12 foot apart, so these would be the main support, probably double 2x8s, and hopefully they'll be close enough to the tree so I can attach them. If not, I'll block it out so I can attach them. Here's the other one, 12 feet apart. They're roughly 10 foot this ways, and the diagonals are kind of close. It really doesn't make that much difference. So, time to go get the post hole digger and start digging. And I'm still on a gimpy leg. I got pins in my head from the freaking, what do you call the guy that sticks pins in people? Anyway, yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm missing a few cylinders, but I'm gonna muddle through and at least get these 4 posts set. And last time I came, I drug all this lumber from the house, which is really all junk, but we'll probably incorporate it anyway. Well, it's a new week, and we got a lot of rain in the last 2 days, 2.1 inches, which makes the ground soft, so there's nothing more fun than carrying lumber through soft ground. But we're going to get the trailer unloaded. Some of it we're going to unload close to the road, so I don't have to carry it so far, but some of it is what we need to work with today, so it's going all the way to the trees. Ooh, Poppy's winded. Okay, so these are the 12-footers. These are floor joists, and they go on after the long ones, but of course they ship them on top. You can't blame them. All this stuff goes on interior of the cabin. Once we get the floor down, and this stuff, heavy like lead, this all goes in the cabin. So I just leaned it up against a tree, and what's left on the trailer, these long boards, I will pull them off as I get ready to put them up. I won't double handle these. Too heavy. So last week when Debbie and I were here, we set these 4 12-foot 4x4s. They're roughly 12 foot by 12 foot, but there was lots of roots, so they're not exactly 12 foot by 12 foot. And then the next day, okay, first thing I did, I put an arbitrary nail. Just the only requisite is to get it above your eye level so you don't poke your eye out. And then with a straight board and a 4-foot level, we went around the square and put marks. So these are all level. It was off about a ½ inch when we closed it out, so I went back and adjusted them a little bit, but it's good enough for a treehouse. Then we measured up and found that's the shortest 4x4. Obviously it's down in the ground deeper. So then I came 7 1/4 from the top, because the beam that's going to nail to that is a 2x8 and they're 7 1/4. And I got that measurement. So then we went around with this little scrap board and put them the same measurement from the nail to the top of the scrap board. So that'll hold the joists up for me, because they're impossibly too heavy to hold by hand and get screws in. And also hold them up so I can kind of halfway try to make this thing square. So I'm going to cut these corners off just because I think it looks better. The bottom corner is going to stick out. And so I got to get the cord and the skill saw and the generator. We have generation. We have a saw. I'm going to cut these, make these 8 cuts. So just to get started on laying this out, I measured from the outside of the 4x4 to the outside of the 4x4. It measured 12'3". That's here. That leaves 46. So I put 23 inches on that end, put a mark, and 23 inches on that end, put a mark. So when I get it up there, that's going to be close to where we're going to put it. And then I'm going to put one on the other side. And then I'm going to pull a string with the framing, with the speed square. I wish I had the framing square, because I would probably scoot them one way or the other to kind of square it up. So this is the first 16-foot 2x8 going up. I know that a few years ago there was concern with the chemicals that they were putting in treated wood. Like it had trace elements of arsenic, and all the schools were having a conniption fit about treated wood stuff on playgrounds, and it was a big deal. And I think they changed the formula. So I don't know what they have in it now, but it's incredibly heavier than when I was a young man. It must be lead in it now. So I got these things up there. The first one was tough. The second one wasn't as bad because I could get the ladder in a better position. What you can't see here is that the ground is covered with roots and holes. And if it wouldn't be for these old ladders being pretty much worn out and flexible, I'll probably never get them to sit right. Both of these ladders came from where I worked, and they were both condemned, and I brought them both home and kind of patched them up. But they're like me. They've seen a better day. But I got the first one up, held it in place with a C-clamp because I knew I was going to probably slide it forward and backwards after I got it up there. All of the rest of them were quite a bit easier for various reasons. The second one, I could get the ladder in a better position, and it was more stable. And the two on the inside, I didn't have to worry about them falling off the end of the little holder upper. They could just go anywhere. So got it up, got it clamped, and life is good. Woo. This one's going to be easier because I can get the ladder in a better spot. So after they were up, I did pull a string across them, and with the speed square, I pulled the one on the left as you're looking at it forward about an inch, and the one I'm putting up now I pushed it back about an inch, and it seemed to be square with the speed square. It's probably not perfectly square. I know the posts are not perfectly square and they're nailed to the post, but we're not dealing with plywood here, and it is a treehouse, so close is good enough.
We'll get into those C-clamps to make sure it doesn't fall off. Screws from Home Depot, and they came with a bit, and yes, I do have a cordless little impact, and I'm going to put 2 screws in each one all the way around, and then when I put the joists on the interior of the 4x4s, I think it's going to be easier because I won't have to worry about them falling off and hitting the ground. Okay, that's the worst of it. The rest of them are 2x6s. And we're going to get those to the string line on this end and screw them with those big black screws. And then I'm going to brace it off to the tree so it doesn't shake so much. It's still pretty shaky right now.
I may be prejudiced, but I think it's looking pretty good so far.
So far, the structure's pretty shaky. But this tree, no, it don't move at all. That one's pretty strong. So I made some aluminum angle brackets at home. I had a 10-foot piece of aluminum rigid conduit. I smushed the ends and bent them over and drilled holes. And I'm going to put those from the tree to the double 2x8. Give it some rigidity. I put, I guess you'll call this a hurricane clip on the outside floor joist, because I'd probably be leaning ladders against it. I'll probably be putting my foot against it. I'll probably be leaning boards against it, and it flips over. If it flips over, because it's hard to fasten this, there's not much to fasten to. If it flips over, it could be bad. So $2, $1 each, and some screws. I can have some peace of mind. I'm gonna do some clips on the other end too. Well, I think I'm ready to screw this joist to the tree on both ends. I don't have a joist long enough to stick out both ends, so they kind of alternate, and I'll have to scab some pieces on. I'm so tired, I'm see, I can't even talk. I'm stumbling around. I'm gonna call it a day before I hurt myself. And get out here in the morning, get some joists up. So put up my next 2 ceiling joists. They are screwed to the tree. Let me try this. Make this quit shaking. They are screwed to the tree. They are screwed to the beam, the 2 2x8s, and they have a hurricane clip on both sides. And they weren't long enough to have a walkway around the outside of the tree on both ends, so I'm gonna alternate. So this one is, so by sliding it all the way this way, it's long enough to have a walkway around the outside of the tree. So this is a straight edge. I'm gonna mark the top of that joist and the angle, and the same here. I'm gonna cut them in place, and then I can stick up a 12-foot 2x6, cut it in place, and then go from that 2x6 that a ways, and then the rest of the rafters I can just slide to that band and nail them in. I think that'll work. Okay, my 2 cuts are made. And with the help of some temporary blocks, I managed to get the 12-foot heavy 2x6 up there, and I think I'm centered on the tree. So I'm going to screw it into place and cut this rafter back the same amount as I cut that one back, and stick another one up there. And then we'll just slide the rafters to touch it. Every other one will touch this side, and every other one will touch that side, and then we'll fill in.
I wiggle my hands because it makes the screws go in faster. It's kind of like adding to the impact drill's power. I'm running out of steam. My crippled foot is complaining a lot. And I'm gonna try to finish this side or this corner quadrant and then go take a break. So I've got the long one to do and two little shorties. So the rafter ends have already been marked with a straight edge and cut. Each one's been cut to the right angle. And now really the easy part is just to stick the rafter on the end and screw it. And then after it's screwed, we'll trim the tail off and it'll fall to the ground. Now in this quadrant, I put this rafter up, this barge rafter, and I was looking at it, trying to decide how to center it on the tree like I did on the other side. And if I did center it on the tree, all the ceiling joists on the other quadrant were going to be too short. Apparently, I don't know, when my wife and I laid out the 4x4s, we had them all straight. Everything was good. So I think between last week and this week, that tree on the right seemed to have moved over about 4 feet or 3 feet. And it kind of messed with the program, but we made it work. I just didn't have any overhang on this ceiling joist. If I cut it, I nailed it with the long rafter that was sticking out, and the last quadrant was able to work okay with everything hunky-dory. So back to the real world, you can see I have that straight edge up there, and I'm trying to figure out how far I can go to and still not have the rafters on the far side be too short. And it ended up, I just killed the barge rafter in the middle of that long rafter that you see, and it worked out. Both of my batteries have failed me, so we're going back to the old cordless, the original cordless, to finish up. I'm just lacking a couple of nails. Framing is complete, and I've got a few 2x6s left on the trailer, so I'm gonna start decking this thing. I think this first space I'm gonna leave open for the ladder.
So I kind of thought I was through with the framing, but I'm not. I want to double this outside floor joist, because the post that held up the roof will be sitting on top of this, and it's just a single right now. So I got to move that hurricane clip over to the other side and cut one that'll fit between, and then the same on that side. So I got 2 more to do and 2 hurricane clips to move. Okay, we got a little deck. So the framing material, ordering it at home, is kind of a guess. You forget all these dimensions and you're trying to picture in your head what you're going to make. And that's why I had these 7/16 left over, because I guessed positive. Now for the decking, I measured it. I measured this and plus this. I got about 180 square feet to cover, and it takes 2 linear feet to cover, and that's excluding any waste. So that gives me a guideline. Of course, the longer the better, but if I get longer than 12, I gotta use my pull the trailer, but it may be worth it. Let me get some real long ones, and I have to check on the price, because the long ones I think cost more per foot. I have an invoice in my truck so I can check that. Anyway, super happy with what I got done today and yesterday. We have a 6-sided deck. 2 of the sides are sort of equal, sort of parallel. The other 4 sides are completely random. We're going to call it a polygon. So, all right, well, let's wrap this video up, and I'll buy some more lumber. I still have a video coming out on making a trail from the end of the vine trail, and I'm working on the 4-wheeler, so that'll be a video. But it's just been kind of slow. I've been moving slow, just not much happening. But yeah, this can happen. But Easter weekend's coming up, and we got company, so that puts a squash to that. And Debbie got another order for some fairly sizable moles that she needs help moving, because we have the moles, but they're very heavy. So probably middle of next week I'll be back. This is the middle of this week, so a week from now, and I'll be probably pulling a trailer, because there'll be a lot of boards. All right, thanks for watching.